Hello friends, today we'll be discussing electrocardiogram. Electrocardiogram is the graphical representation of the electrical activity of the heart. Electrocardiogram means it's a graph, whereas if we say it's electrocardiograph, that means it's a machine. So electrocardiogram is a graph and electrocardiograph is the name of the machine which records ECG. Now, ECG is recorded in different formats and it consists of 12 leads: lead 1, lead 2, lead 3, AVR, AVL, AVF, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and V6. All these leads are recorded by the placement of different electrodes, which we will be studying in next couple of minutes, and then they record the electrical activity of the heart from different positions. Now, the different leads, as we have discussed, there are 12 leads. All of these leads have some common features, that they have few waves. Like if we study the waves of lead 1, it consists of the first wave, which is known as the P wave. So P wave is the first upward deflection on the ECG after this isoelectric line. Now, then this is followed by a flat line, this isoelectric line, which is known as the PR segment. Now, the P wave is usually 2.5 millimeter tall, that is from this place to this place, this 2.5, and then 2.5 millimeter broad. So 2.5 figure is important in the P wave. So if anything is more than that, that makes the P wave abnormal, and which we will be discussing subsequently. Now this is followed by a segment which is known as the PR segment, and which is followed by a wave complex which is known as the QRS complex. So this QRS complex is the complex which follows the PR segment. Now this first negative deflection is known as the Q wave, and the first positive deflection of this complex is known as the R wave. And then it touches the baseline, isoelectric line, and further goes down. If it goes down, then the second negative wave is called the S wave, and then this is followed by the ST segment, and which is followed by the T wave. So these are few of the things which occur in almost all the leads, and we always must start with the identification of the first wave, the P wave, and then subsequently follow what are the wave patterns which are coming, because this is from this systematic approach we will be making the diagnosis of different conditions. See the real life ECG. Now here there is a very small wave, which is the first wave, which is coming in almost all the leads which we can see. So this is called the P wave. So it's a small thing. It's about 2.5 millimeter broad and 2.5 millimeter tall. That's the maximum limit. This is followed by a complex which is known as the QRS complex. So this universal thing, that this is also again the QRS complex, this is also QRS complex, this is also QRS complex. So majority of the leads you find a small QRS complex which is coming. Now this is followed by a wave which is called the T wave. Now, this is the T wave, this is the T wave, this is the T wave which is coming. Now the interval between this P and the QRS complex is known as the PR interval, and the segment between the P wave to the QRS is known as the PR segment. Now what does it mean? If we see this interval, this is PR interval. So PR interval consists of a P wave and plus the PR segment. So segment is between the two waves which is there. PR segment, that is the this is the area which is known as PR segment, and the interval is the one wave plus one segment. So P wave plus PR segment is PR interval. Now this is important because we'll be discussing this in the subsequent intervals. And then comes the wave which is known as the QRS. The first Q wave, we don't see it here, and the initial is the R wave which is coming, and there's also no downward deflection which is such. So it is mainly, but still it's called the QRS interval, because even if we have the isoelectric line here, a wave which goes upward is called the R wave. A wave which comes downward below the isoelectric line would be the S wave. If it's not there, even this only the R wave is there, followed by the S wave coming to isoelectric line, and then the T wave. Now this interval from the onset of R wave or the Q wave to the end of this T wave is called the QT interval. Now QT interval has a ST segment and the two waves plus the QRS wave is there, and then followed by the T wave. So QT interval is equal to QR's wave plus the ST segment. So this is the ST segment, and then the T wave. So it has two waves, QRS and the T wave, and S segment which is known as the ST segment. So this interval is also very important. In fact, the ECG whole of it is also very important, because this is how we precisely know what we are really dealing with.